Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing well. It looks like I am. It says I'm live. Okay, so I think we're good. A couple quick things that I want to mention. Usually, what happens is when we schedule this live stream, the as soon as you go to the YouTube channel, this should be the first thing that pops up on that list, or at least that's been my experience with it. Anytime that I'm getting ready to go live, when I go to look for that, as soon as I go to the YouTube channel, it's the first thing that pops up. So if it doesn't do that for you, I'm not sure exactly why it wouldn't be. It's always done it that way for me. But I can try to do better about finding a more specific link to each one. Every stream that I use, it gives me it actually gives me in stream settings, and what I just posted for Mr. Ferris was it was the stream URL, and so he was saying that he had a little difficulty finding that. I'm not sure why. It's confusing to me as well. But anyway, what I want to do real quick, I also have one more quick announcement. Let's see. We really do not need any more ICU snacks until further notice, due to the fact that the waiting rooms are all being closed currently because of the pandemic. I did hear today that they've finally said something along the lines of in the UK they have approved Pfizer's, I guess it's their first round of uh, uh, COVID, what you call it, the word just left me. The treatment, vaccine. That's the word, I think. But anyway, so maybe we're starting to see some progress. If it starts to prove that it works in the UK, maybe we can find ourselves in a new normal here soon, or back to what we want to be as normal. And that's it's difficult, especially when we look at the state of Mississippi right now. And as of this writing, there were well over 2,400 new cases today in the state itself. So it's still kind of a scary time, and we're still really worried about everyone's health and everyone's safety, and that's really a primary concern about everybody. And it was, I heard about that. I heard about the new cases. I heard about what the one of the primary physicians in Mississippi was saying, and about to as far as social gatherings and whatnot, and those things they're concerning and they're worrying. But I'm sitting there. I'm walking through the house a little while ago, and trying to wrap my head around. So far, knock on wood, my school has not been hit too terribly hard. We've had some cases, sure, but I'm thinking about what happens if things get worse. What happens if I get it, or someone in my family gets it. It's there's a lot of things that we worry about right now. But as I'm walking through the house, Chloe's sitting there. She's watching The Lion King, and as as they're going through the movie, there's this song called Hakuna Matata. And obviously, this song, when it was saying, it was, the idea behind it was, it's about living life with no worries, right? But we can't do that, can we? We can't live life with no worries. It's part of our own human nature to 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 worry about things. We get stuck in these mindsets, and those things, they tend to control us. And something that we do is, and I've noticed that I've done it a lot here lately too, is we talk a lot about worry, but I really think that worry is one of the single most devastating issues that face us on a day-to-day basis. And when we think about worry, we think what happens when we worry? When we worry, we stress. We overeat. We allow ourselves to be distracted with things over which we don't have any control. And and some of these things, especially the stresses and the worrying and the overeating, those things can lead to us being really sick. They could lead to us losing sleep. Those things could cause high blood pressure, and they could also cause a lot of gray hair, which is starting to show up pretty good in my beard. I think all that gray hair. I get it naturally though. It's none of it's due to stress at all, right? Yeah. No, but anyway, so what is it that we? Yeah, I just got a notification on my phone saying Mississippi shatters all-time COVID-19 cases. So, it's just the news helps with stress, doesn't it? It helps with our worrying situation. But so, what do we do? The first thing that we need to do is that we need to recognize that there are a couple of ways that we can deal with stress and worry. The first one of those is the one that we usually and are most likely to turn to. We try to rely on our own understanding and our own perception of the world. And how do we plan to handle these issues? And is there anything that we can do to stop the spread of the coronavirus? There's a handful of things that we can do to keep ourselves safe and the things around us, but we can't control the world at large. So the fact that does that worry really work? Usually that kind of worry rarely works. And so then what we need to do is we need to take a moment, we need to step back, we need to think about the grand scheme of things. Okay, something that I've told my students, and I tell them time and time again, and especially those who tend to find themselves in trouble quite often. I look at their situations, and usually the reason that they get in trouble is because they're worried about what somebody else thinks. And what I do is I tell them to take a step back, think about 5 years from now. Is that thing that they're getting mad about, or stressed about, or worrying about, is it really going to matter? So what we got to do is we got to take a moment, we stop, we think about what really matters. What really matters is that we need to remember that the God of the universe is on our side. We need to remember that. We need to show that love to God because God first loved us. 1 John 4:18 says there's no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. Okay, so perfect love. What is a perfect love? It's a completeness, right? If we can truly say that we completely trust in God, then we can limit the amount of fear and worry about tomorrow that we have. Isaiah 40 and verse 31 says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." Have you ever met somebody who, and especially within the household of faith, who it just seems that they don't really have much worry at all? They just seem really carefree, and you're sitting there wondering how it is that, it seems like the world is falling down around them, but they're still pretty carefree and worry-free. Have you wondered how they do that? Have you stopped to think that it could simply be that they trust in God, and they trust God to help take care of them? Isaiah chapter 41 and verse 10 says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And we need to trust God to do that. He's saying that he will do that for us. We've got to trust him to do it. And there's another one here, and this is a pretty famous passage, but I think it's one that we should often take a moment, take a step back, and try to remember the words of this passage. And this is in Matthew chapter 6. It's verses 25 through 34. And it's a popular, really popular passage, and it's one that really cannot be overstated. Okay, Matthew chapter 6, verse 25 beginning. It says, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you'll eat or drink, or about your body, what you'll wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they?" I think that we are. I think that that's a pretty easy answer. And really, that's kind of a rhetorical question there. It's one that we should obviously have this answer to. So, are we not more important than the birds of the air? Okay, verse 27. "Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers on the field grow? They do not labor or spin, yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these." Solomon, the richest man to have ever walked the face of this planet, was not dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown in the fire, will he not much more clothe you, you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, "What shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear?" For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. God knows what we need. He knows better about what we need than we even do. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. I think that's something that we can really take to heart here. Okay, it seems like in 2020, when we wake up every single day, there's something new that's thrown at us, and it's kind of crazy how every single day it seems like there's something new this year. So each day has enough trouble on its own. Every single day there's something new for us to have to deal with. And can we really worry about some of these things? Are they really worth our time to worry about? I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that you're staying safe. I hope that I get to see you again on Sunday morning. We will currently the plan is to meet at 9:30 at the church. I hope that everyone stays safe. In the meantime, wear your mask. I love you, and I will see you guys on Sunday morning. Bye.